So if anyone has any questions, if you can jump on over to Kitchen Table Mastery /Tech Talk, you'll see the chat box there, and we can get into there and start doing some good question and answers. And the first one I see is from Karen, and it's, how do I add the tracking code for Google Analytics for demographics? Well, that is a good question. Let me go ahead and jump up here really quick and pull up our Google Analytics page, and I'll show it with you. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do that here. Let me. One second. I'm going to pull it up here. I'm looking at actually Google Analytics. Karen, do you have the Google Analytics normal already installed on your site? The normal. I'm sorry, Karen. Do you have the normal Google Analytics already installed on your site?
Here, I'll join you. Let's get over.
Can you?
Okay, so in Google Analytics, under if you go into your analytics, then you go ahead and click under Audience, and then under there you'll see another link called Demographics, and then once you hit those pages, if you don't already have that small pixel installed, Google Analytics will tell you you have to install this little pixel on your site. So Scott, can you switch over to WordPress?
The problem, I can install the WordPress, but I can't jump over to Google Analytics because we're on the take control.
Well, go ahead and pop over to WordPress, switch your screen onto your screen so that she can see where to install it, because Google Analytics will give you the HTML for the pixels, and Scott will show you where in WordPress to install this.
Hold on, let me jump over to.
So, yeah. And yeah, go ahead and share your screen. Okay, so Scott's going to show you how to install the little tiny tracking code in WordPress that Google Analytics gives you, and I think it's in the head, right?
It does go in the head, and there's a couple ways that you can do that. One can be through your theme. If your theme has a custom section, if we're actually over here, we're on the theme customizer. Down in there's a custom section on ours, which has literally our JavaScript. And there's a whole bunch down here. When we look down here, there's a bunch of them that add different elements in for different things. Here's one, for example. This one down here is our Pinterest function that we've added. And then we have another one for Kissmetrics is another one. That's one place where you can actually install the Google Analytics code. And then underneath it, there is just one line, if you look in the demographics page on Google Analytics, that you need to add into your JavaScript. And it's really just adding one line. Now, if I close out of here, and if I look at ours, I believe we've added ours through the other way, which is using our functions file in the back end of our WordPress. So if we go back down to Appearance, and then our editor, I'll show you our functions file. Here we have a whole bunch of different things, and this really is just an easier way to add different widgets and things into your actual theme that you can take with us. So let me go see if I can find you real quick the section on our analytics. Giveaways, Ad Thrive, short codes, Blogger toolbar, share validation to sell, pin it button. Oh, where did we put it?
So you probably wouldn't mess too
Here it
much
is.
with this if you didn't know, if you weren't technical, or is it okay to just go in here and cut and paste something in there?
This is actually one of those areas in WordPress that if you know what you're doing, it's very easy to do, to add in the codes that used by Google Analytics. But it's also at the same time, if we're just copying, and pasting into there, it's simple and easy. But it is one of those things that you have to be careful with. If you're coding into it, you don't want to code on a live page, because if you do mess it up, you can end up taking your site down. The other option, quite honestly, is contact your host provider for your web, and they can actually insert a lot of these scripts simple and easy for you, especially anyone that's working with WordPress quite often, which is most of them. Bluehost, Liquid Web, all have great tech support and can easily just go ahead and put it in there for you. But you can look, there is a, I'm trying to remember which line it was, but it's actually adding in, here's one of the scripts that we do for inserting our Google script.
So it's probably better if they take that, copy paste the little pixel that Google Analytics wants them to insert, and then call your web host and they can insert it for you, because this looks really complicated and scary.
For those who are just starting out, it can be, yes.
Yeah, so go to Google Analytics, go under demographics or audience, and then demographics, grab the HTML, and it might tell you, Karen said that it says ask your analytics administrator to do this work for you. So just call your web host and they should be able to help you. And then I got another question from, let's see, Spoon and Saucer. How do I make my front page more Pinteresty? And that is theme specific. So we chose a very specific WordPress theme that had this ability to put all the images up front. What was the theme that we ended up using? Let's go to that URL.
The theme we are actually using, if we could jump down into here and our themes, is called, it's called X, DivX, D-I-V-I-X, I believe. We can get the details here. It's by ThemeCo, which is the website address is theme.co, theme.co.
Let's just go ahead and
we
go
can
to
click right here. Here's their website, actually. You can learn about X. We're not going to actually play this because it will.
Go to their theme forest.
Right here is the marketplace for it, and let me pull up the other.
ThemeForest is actually one of the most well-known WordPress theme marketplaces, and I love all of the, I love going to ThemeForest to buy or look at themes because it ranks them based on you know, how many people are using it, how many people bought it, and how many people actually like it.
So there are a couple things that you can do once you switch to a theme. And the main point about making it more Pinterest friendly is a couple of important tips. One is using a plugin that will insert these pin it buttons over the top of your pictures. If you see right up here in the upper hand corner where I'm trying to run over, it's flipping back and forth between there, is a pin it button. And if you slide over, it pops over another one here. those pin it buttons or make it really simple and easy to do it. To make your users have an experience where they can just pin on a button or click on a picture and it will pop up into their, that's not going to show, I don't think, but it pops a little pop-up and makes the pin it available for them. The second aspect that we're doing on Steamy Kitchen here is you look over here on the far left, you'll see a whole bunch of share icons. This app is called SumoMe, S-U-M-O-M-E, and it's an easy share type plugin. They're even, and if I can get you, let's see if we can jump over to their website really quick. SumoMe. It's sumome.com.
And it's free.
And it's free. And this is part of their, this is actually one tool. It has a whole video on how to use it and the benefits of it, how to get started. But there's a lot of fun things that you can do with the SumoMe app. Let me just show you a couple other ones. Besides having these share buttons over here for Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Google, there's a whole bunch more. America, let me see if I can pull this over.
Is that just a plugin?
It is just a plugin. And let me see if I can, it's not gonna let me do it while I'm on the edge of the screen. Here we go. Just to show you some of the other things, this is part of the share functionality. You have literally, you have some reporting that it gives, plus you can also change all the settings to add all these other ones. Do you want Amazon, Buffer, Delicious, Dig, Evernote, Facebook Like, Friends, Insta, you know, literally LinkedIn. There's pretty much everyone you know about. And what's great about the team over there, Noah and his team, he's literally like, if you got something else new, let me know, because we'll see about adding it in. And I just contacted them yesterday, and they're now working on Yummly, adding Yummly into share as well.
Does that mobile sidebar play nice with? Does that sidebar play nice with mobile? Sometimes it'll take up a lot of real estate. It is mobile friendly, but I think you need a little room on the side.
Yes, you're always going to want to have a little bit of room to account for it. I'm trying to grab here and see if I can. I mean, this is what it's going to look like on mobile. What it does, I don't know if you see it, but it actually throws it down here at the bottom of the screen when you go into a mobile. This normal blue bar up here won't normally be here.
That's admin, right?
That's me. That's for admin. If I want to change things on it, we can do that.
So it's nice that when you're on mobile, like an iPhone, it moves down to the bottom and it doesn't really block any of the content. So that's what Spin and Salsa was asking. Is there Yummy Medley asked about is there a plugin to make your front page more Pinteresty?
Is there a plugin? Instead
of having to change themes, do you know of a plugin?
Sure. The plugins that you can actually use, let me jump back over to here. I can show you some of them. We are currently using, or we're using, 2 of them on Steamy Kitchen.
On the front page?
Yeah, and these plugins actually really work on going over all of your pictures on your site. There's the Pinterest Pin It button for images. So when you scroll over an image on your website of a certain size, I believe it needs to be over 100 by 100 pixels, so you won't get a lot of little icons, but you'll get all your main images. It will put that Pin It button on the image itself. And then the other one is, there is a Pretty Pinterest Pins plugin, which displays your latest pins in your sidebar. If you want to put a little widget in there that says, these are my last 3 pins that I have pinned. So it's kind of a active, current, up-to-date, always changing Pinterest monitor on your web page.
Why don't we show them the plugin that they're going to get next week, the Pinterest pin that we created? So if you go to, Scott, go ahead and go to post. Yeah, that one. Just go ahead and go to the back end of it. Edit post.
So one of the things that we've been trying to explore is how do we create different images for our post that are besides this one, that are more Pinterest friendly as an image. So this is one of the posts that we did about sweet potato casseroles. And what we're going to give to you is a plugin that really does one simple, easy thing. It allows you to create an image and then place that image URL into this custom field down here. And at the same time, you can also add a meta description about that. And it's here, it says, Steamy Kitchen. We have a sweet potato casserole recipe JPEG. And we also have homemade version of the sweet potato casserole recipe from Ruth's Chris Restaurant with set photos. That type of meta information will actually be attached to the pin. Now, you won't see the image here, but we're going to show you how it works. When you go back to this post, pardon me for scrolling back up fast.
So this is the Pinterest plugin that we'll send out to you, what, next week?
Hopefully next week, yes.
Yeah, we're just finishing it up.
This button right here, right below the title, if you click on Pin It, it actually opens up a selection page. Now, if you look on the actual post page, there's all these different pictures with the exception of this really big long one.
So I created this image in Photoshop. I can also give you the template for it as well, and you can use that template for your own use. But what I wanted to do was create something that was long and looks good on Pinterest, but I didn't want that image to show up in the post because it just wouldn't be appropriate to have that image inside my post. So what the plugin does is takes I just upload it to the back end of that custom field, upload that image that I created specially for Pinterest, and then the plugin will hide that from the post, but when you click the Pin It button, it will show up, and you can use that to pin it. So go ahead and click on Pin It.
What's going to happen here is, unfortunately, it doesn't show you.
Oh, because it's a pop-up.
Because it's a pop-up. Let me see if I can do it this way. 1 second. Jump over and see if I can get to that. Yeah, here it is. So this is the pop-up that shows when you click on when you select the image. Now notice that the image is here. It's the long skinny image, and it also has that URL or meta description that you put into your custom field. Except
I have 2 Steamy Kitchen. We got to take one out. And what else does it do?
I think you added this, and then the plugin added it automatically.
Oh, okay. So the plugin also adds in your URL that's clickable. So go ahead and can you click on Pin It, and they can see what happens?
Okay, now it's saying.
Yeah, just don't show tips.
Don't show tips. Yeah.
Okay, so now you got to go back to your other screen. With these Google Hangouts, it's really hard if you have like pop-ups or multiple screens open, because you can only show one screen at a time. So this is on Pinterest, and this is what it's going to look like. And
I jump over to I want. Here it is showing up. This is the pin showing up as a long one. As you can see, we actually have, we've tried some other ones. We've been working on it here. Here's the spaghetti squash one. It's big and long.
But you don't want it too big and long, because otherwise it gets really annoying. So we'll leave that up to you, however you want to do your images. I'll give you the template that I use in Photoshop. It's super easy to use. You just drag and drop images in, and it will just move them around to wherever you want, and you can just go ahead and place them.
Some really great things if you're doing recipes that have step-by-step type photos into them. if you can put that in your actual pin. If you notice here, this one is Chinese egg roll. You notice how it's got 3 pictures below that kind of gives some simple step-by-step type things. That's really helpful for the pin, and that's what Pinterest was really looking for in creating these longer pins, was kind of highlight some of the step-by-step type things. That's really awesome for recipes. Now, another aspect that you may notice down here on some of our pins, we're seeing some more descriptions and more things like that's from the meta that we put in, the meta information. And also, when you click on individual pins, depending on how your recipes are marked up, they will actually show some of the recipe ingredients and stuff needed on Pinterest itself if they are a rich media pin.
There was another question that was, does anyone have any questions? Let's see. No, we answered that already.
Well, Jane, while we're looking for more questions, I want to just do some highlights of some of the other things that are available on SumoMe. They actually have ways that if you add into, you can show literally analytics and heat maps on an individual page. I'm going to go home and I'll show you the home one.
Oh, while you're doing that, Lucy asked, what was the name of those 2 Pinterest plugins that you mentioned?
Okay, I'll pull them back up
okay.
here. Here is, for example, we're loading a heat map to find out where the readers are actually clicking on your site.
Isn't that neat? That looks so neat. So it looks like people are using a lot of search.
A lot of search, giveaways, the blog, recipes, and start here.
Start here is huge. So if you have, the reason why I wanted to have a start here button is because anyone that's brand new to Steamy Kitchen, I want them to feel like so welcome and have a place to start and learn. So if you go ahead and click on start here, Scott. You got to turn off the heat map. Okay, well, before you go then.
I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Now, you can barely see these other lighter dots around here. That's where people are clicking on your page as well. And I wanted to show you one other thing before we jump off the start into the start here. As you notice, down here is a lot less color. There's a couple spots here and there. Now, one other thing I wanted to just highlight really quickly on this home page. I can reload it. And then we pull up the second half of this tool. It's called the Content Analysis tool. See how it's got very bright colors? And if you look down here in the lower right, it says 62%, actually let's go up here, 91% of your readers see this far down on your page. And as we start scrolling down, you're gonna notice that not as many people are going through your whole page. It's a good idea. So we're thinking about eventually later on, here's the half mark. At 30%, only half of our readers get down to this point. So what does that mean as far as your page? Well, think about this. In your sidebar, if you're going to be putting in something that you want people to take notice, as we get all the way down here near the bottom, less than 20% of our readers are getting down to this far on the home page. So that means we need to keep things obviously up in this red and yellow section of the page to go ahead and to see that.
And I guess the last thing, we're out of time, but the last thing is they wanted to know what those 2 plugins were. And
sure.
Oh, this is a start here page. So I wanted, it's kind of like when you welcome someone into your home. There's a welcome mat. They're like, oh, come on in, have a drink, have a glass of wine. Except I don't have wine on my website. But these are my most popular recipes. This is our family. What's our goal? What's the mission of our website? It's to help you with amazing recipe ideas, cook delicious, simple food, and have a table full of raving friends and family saying, yummy, more please. So I want people to feel welcome, and you should definitely think about having a start here page. And with that, I have to run because I've got a call to make.
Here are those 2 plugins. The plugin is the Pinterest Pin It button for images. Again, it's the Pinterest Pin It button for images. And I will put this actually on the Facebook comment afterwards for who was asking for it. Pinterest pin it button for images, as well as the pretty Pinterest pins. The pin it button for images is the one that can put that pin it button float over your images and appear when you hover, and the pretty Pinterest pins plugin is used for putting in the latest pins in your sidebar. Well, I hope you have a great day. If you have more questions, feel free to plug them into the comments on Facebook. We're going to work out a better way to do this next time, because there was no way that I could actually get into you and chat with you on the Hangout easily. So we're going to do that. I'm going to pull this back up to the top. And we will talk to you next week. Thank you.